people 1 to 14 years of age, young kids, will get the coronavirus. Everybody will get the coronavirus eventually. That's the consensus. It's a very fast-traveling disease. It's all over. You can't avoid it. The separation that they're using between people slows it down a bit. It shouldn't move so fast and overload the hospitals. It does not cure. It does not prevent. It doesn't do anything. Okay? Contrary to what those Lakewood doctors have said. Oh, separation. That's not a solution. So the younger kids get it, and they don't even know that they have it.
They're what they call asymptomatic.
They're asymptomatic. In other words, they don't even know. It's like a cold, They don't even know they got the cold. As you get up in age, you may get some symptoms. You may start coughing, your head and the heat. Until about age 50, 60, it's not life-threatening for most people. Unless you have asthma, unless you have diabetes, unless you have cancer or some serious immune disease. Which if someone has a serious immune disease, he's got to be more careful anyway. Anybody in his right mind knows. Somebody who's a hemophiliac has to be ready, or he's got EpiPens for people who are fainting. You have to take care of yourself. You have a shadow going on. So we know that. But a normal child, a normal young man will go through it successfully without a problem. That's why they can reopen all the businesses now for younger people. They can handle it. The problem is when you get 50, 60, 70 years old. As you age, you lose 1% of your kidney function and 1% of your liver function. So by the time you reach age 70, you've lost half of your function of your liver and half of your function of your kidney. It's like you lost one kidney and you donated it. You have only one kidney functioning, basically. So therefore, since the kidneys and the liver filter out these sicknesses, therefore, when you get hit by the coronavirus, you have a very limited ability to filter out the sickness and to recover. The recovery is very difficult for an older person. Therefore, the rule is right now, until the coronavirus has herd immunity. Herd immunity means until everybody gets it, somewhere around 80%, and they develop antibodies, and that will allow the whole thing to burn itself out, and it won't be so prevalent in the streets so much, which is what herd immunity does. Until then, the older people have to hide in their homes, as the Gemara says, hide in your home when there's a dever. Number one, try to run away, which is not very practical for most people, unless they have a bungalow in the Catskills where they can hide, which I understand some older people did. They went to hide in the bungalows in the Catskills. The Catskills is now voting on whether they want to keep the Jews out. They're afraid they're going to bring sicknesses there. So you hide out, or if you can't hide out, then you have to hide in your home and sit there. Don't go to Minyan, don't go anywhere. You're an older person, you are in danger. Don't let your grandchildren come to your house because they are asymptomatic.
Yeah.
And asymptomatic. You'll catch it from them because they have it.
So are you afraid of a second wave? Because
they have what they call mutations. So you have antibodies to this particular coronavirus mutation, but there's 10 other mutations.
Right. Well, over the last couple of weeks, which I found very interesting, a few weeks ago they said there were 9 strains of this corona. Last week they reported over 1,500. How does it go from 9? How does it go from 9 to 1,500 that quickly?
Yeah. Because it's geometric progression. That's why you have a different flu shot every year. Every year they try to predict which flu is going to hit.
Correct, but with the flu, there's not 1,500 mutations of the flu.
Yeah, but you see, this is an engineered virus. This was engineered. Dr. Luc Montagnier, who's a Nobel Prize winner, expert on virology in France, he said that he analyzed the coronavirus, and he found that they spliced together the HIV/AIDS virus, which makes it much more deadly, together with what's called a gain function, which makes it more deadly. The HIV was that it should go faster, it should be transmitted faster, together with what they call the gain function to make it more deadly. So they made it more deadly in the laboratory, plus they made it more prevalent to spread faster. That we give credit to Dr. Fauci and his $3.7 million, which he gave to the beautiful virology laboratory in China. We have to give a shkoyach to Dr. Fauci and to all of the Hasidim who believe in Dr. Fauci.
So are you saying, do you believe that this is straight out bioterrorism by Dr. Fauci?
Dr. Fauci did it for a different reason. His claim to fame is AIDS, trying to solve the AIDS problem, which was a very politically correct thing to do, and which catapulted him into prominence and power as head of one of the heads of the NIH. It was a very, very politically correct thing to do. And he was researching all these viruses in order to see if he could somehow come up with something against AIDS. So he was playing the virus game. But he was playing with a Frankenstein monster, you see, because he's not such a great genius. And it got out of hand. He lost control of it, and he gave it to the Chinese, who are totally irresponsible people over there in that laboratory. The State Department went over there and said, that laboratory does not have proper, strict controls. Things could leak out of that laboratory very easily and go crazy.
So you think this got out by mistake, or it got out on purpose to undermine Trump?
There's an argument about that. There's two sides to the coin, and Trump has already said, we're not sure. But one thing is for sure, even if it got out by mistake, the way the Chinese handled it was, they cut off all airplane service to China itself while allowing airplanes to go to Europe and to America at the same time. So in other words, knowing that it was being transmitted, knowing that it's going to go out, they knowingly allowed it purposely to go to Italy, where they have 100,000 Chinese who run 1/3 of all the industries, and the clothing, fashion industries in Italy have been bought out by the Chinese. And from Europe, a lot of the stuff came to America. So Trump first cut off the planes coming from China, then he cut off all the planes coming from Europe, trying to limit the damage, which he did. It would have been a lot. That 2 million number that they mentioned originally in the production, that 2 million people would die in America, it could have been 2 million if he wouldn't have cut off all those airplane services and got hit very hard by the Democrat Party for doing that, as being a racist and a xenophobe and crazy. But thank God he did it early enough, so the damage was limited to tens of thousands, not to hundreds of thousands and millions. Could have been a lot worse. So Trump is a real American patriot. He's interested in helping the American people. He's not a globalist who's interested in making money any way he can, and to hell with the American people. He believes in what we call in the Shulchan Aruch, Aniyei Ircha Koydem, the poor of your own city come first, before you take care of the poor of the rest of the world, which is the sensible, common sense way to deal. And it shows a certain mila of loyalty to your own people, instead of the disloyalty which has been shown by so many American firms, just cutting off their factories here in America and going and grabbing cheap labor elsewhere, and letting American people go down the drain and suffer. I'm begging the community, please talk to your doctors. I'm talking about Chemet in Lakewood. I'm talking about Dr. Shanik. I'm talking about Refuah over in Muncie. I'm talking about Yalad V'Yalda here in Brooklyn. All these large medical organizations which are funded by the government and which naturally want to cater to the government and make them happy, please exercise a little bit more loyalty to your own people. Don't just follow blindly what the government is telling you to do when you know in your heart of hearts that you're neglecting people and you're hurting people by ignoring the evidence right in front of your eyes of what you can do to save their lives. Hydroxy is a proven lifesaver without a question. Dr. Fauci himself knew about it in the year 2004. He already knew it, that it saves life. The reason he is against it, and the establishment is against it, is he wants to force vaccines on everyone. Vaccines are now the largest profit center for the drug companies. It's a beautiful business to go into vaccines. No one can sue you if people drop dead from your vaccine. If people become autistic, no one can sue you. You are protected by the government from all lawsuits. The doctors, the pediatricians are protected from all lawsuits if they give a vaccine to a child and the child drops dead 2 hours later or gets sick or gets epileptic. It's a beautiful, beautiful business to be in. You don't have to do research. You don't have to prove anything. You just set it up there, and then you get a rubber stamp from Dr. Fauci and his friends at CDC, and you're in business, in a multi-billion-dollar business with absolutely no liability for anything that you do against the public. And that is the future of the pharmaceutical industry today. And that is, unfortunately, a dangerous situation where people are making money all over, and they want to push vaccine. This vaccine for coronavirus is going to be dangerous. It's a SARS type of vaccine, and they have not even come up with anything for AIDS, for vaccine for AIDS and for SARS, which are cousins. So they're going to put everybody in danger. They're not going to let you go to work unless you take this vaccine, if they succeed in their plan. And the reason why they don't want hydroxy is, if hydroxy is working so well and saving lives, that means you can go to work if you're a younger person and not terribly in danger. And in case anything happens with coronavirus, you take the hydroxy. So what's the big deal?
And the hydroxy is what, like $20? It's literally cheap.
And hydroxy, I paid $10 for the hydroxy and another $10 for the Z-Pack, azithromycin. Total of $20.
Wow.
Other things that are being researched right now cost $1,000. And that's what Fauci is pushing. And of course, if he does the vaccine, it's going to be in the billions of dollars. So we're talking billions of dollars versus $20. Which one would you prefer, my friend? Okay?
Yep.